Hello, Internet. I did something incredibly stupid, and today I would like to tell you the story. This happened on the day that I was supposed to fly to Australia with Phil to go on tour with our stage show, and Phil had done all of his packing the night before, because he's a nerd, whatever, but I'm a pretty chill guy, so I was like, hey, I'll start the morning playing some Pokemon Go, I'll go to a bakery, and I bought this amazing looking pistachio muffin, because, you know, it's important to treat yourself, and then decided, hey, I've got a couple of hours, I think I'm going to film a YouTube video. Now, I hear you saying, Dan, don't you think that's a bad idea? Maybe you should just focus on the travel, but no, I was convinced that I could leave everything to the last minute. No. It was so last minute, in fact, that we were supposed to get in a car to take us to the airport at 5 PM, and I finished filming my YouTube video at 5:15 PM, and I hadn't started to pack my suitcase yet. I know I just made about half of you have an aneurysm there, I am sorry. Before you all freak out, I know what I'm doing, okay? I am an experienced putter-offer, so I was sure I could do this in 5 minutes. I ran into the bedroom and just literally randomly scooped shit into my suitcase, slammed it shut, because to be honest, as long as I got my phone, my wallet, my passport, and a shitload of chargers, I can get through anything. Worth mentioning at this point that Mr. Philip was having a mild mental breakdown thinking we were going to miss the flight, but everything was under control. Because you can't take liquids on a flight, the last thing I always pack is my toiletries, so with the serene ambiance of Phil screaming in the background that the car is going to leave without us, so I should just leave everything and buy it again at the airport, I laid all of the products out in front of me and said, no. I can do this. Like a fucking ninja octopus, I was spraying my hair while brushing my teeth. I managed to pack toothpaste, mouthwash, and get some floss in there, and then I reached for my deodorant, and that was when it all went wrong. I'm not that coordinated at the best of times, but in this frenzy, I picked up the can of deodorant and pressed down to spray myself without realizing that I was holding it in the wrong direction, and I sprayed it into my eyeball. That's right. Now, I don't know if you've accidentally sprayed yourself with aerosol, but that shit's cold, and what made it worse is it was antiperspirant to stop sweat, so it began to remove the moisture from my eyeball. I instantly scream in pain and drop my stuff everywhere. Phil, still freaking out but now also mildly concerned, asked if I was okay, but I was like, no, I have come too far to lose now, I am going to do this, so I said, 1 minute, turned on the tap and started vigorously splashing myself in the face. I had no idea what I'd done or how bad it was, but I was like, I'm gonna clean my eye, get my stuff, and get in that car. So I grabbed my wash bag, went to go get my muffin, which I hadn't had a chance to eat yet, which Phil said was ridiculous, but no, I wanted my muffin, and I got in the car. As we sat on the road to the airport with my eye suspiciously twinging, I didn't want to raise any concern with Phil, so I just kept it closed and covered like I was quietly face-palming about something in the corner, which, to be honest, I do quite a lot when I'm left alone with my thoughts. And thankfully, and you know, just like I said we would, so everything's fine, we made it in time for the flight. By which I mean we sprinted unceremoniously through the entire airport, panting and sweating until we were sat down at the gate. I then decided to get my muffin out, thinking I definitely deserve to enjoy it after the incident, only to realise I had somehow crushed it in my bag. Phil suggested I just let it go and throw it away, but oh no, it was much more than just a muffin at this point. It was a symbol that no matter what, I was not giving up today. And that was when I decided to open my eye again for the first time. I remember looking across to Phil, who had just begun to process that we had actually made it in time for the flight and calmed down, and quietly saying, I can't see out of my left eye. What? I sprayed deodorant in my eyeball before we left. What? So instead of Phil's face of, oh my god, are you serious, why do I even? All I saw was a beautiful white cloud of blur. At this point, I start majorly freaking out, thinking that I'd permanently blinded myself, and for the rest of my life I'd have to explain that I did it by spraying deodorant into my face because I was holding a can in the wrong direction, which to be honest, would just be the cherry on the top of the reasons why Dan's a failed cake that is my life. Phil, an eternal hypochondriac, then re-freaks out himself as if I'd literally impaled something through my head and were imminently about to die right then, orders that I go to the bathroom and rinse it out some more while he researches what I should do. So knocking into every object and person along the way like a lanky pinball, I get to the bathroom, look in the mirror and think, right, this cloud on my eye is probably just the powder from the deodorant, so I can rub it off and proceed to not just splash water in my eye, but vigorously scrub it. After 5 minutes of fingering myself like I was trying to find my own G-spot with a time limit, I sat back down, and this is when my symptoms evolved from just not being able to see to also extreme pain. I had somehow made it worse, so my eye was blurry and burning. So I'm sat in the middle of an airport, rocking backwards and forwards, crying my eyes out. Now, in the UK, despite various other fuck-ups, one thing we've definitely got right is free healthcare, and there is a service where you can call a number to get free medical advice in situations that aren't necessarily an emergency. So Phil passed me the phone, and I spoke to a lovely old lady called Doris. Now, I love this service, okay, don't get me wrong, I've used it before, it's very helpful, protected the NHS and all that, but this particular lady wasn't very helpful. Hello, my name is Doris.
Hello, hi.
What is your name? Dan. Ben? Dan.
Ham?
Dan.
Mohammed?
Daniel.
Oh, Daniel, yes, what's the problem?
I sprayed deodorant in my eye.
Oh, why would you do that?
It was an accident.
Ah, I see. Now, for the records, I need to know the brand.
Sure, okay, Lynx.
Yes, okay, L-I-N...
Never mind, so what should I do?
Well, apparently, you should rinse out your eye with water.
Yep, did that.
And the one thing you shouldn't do is rub your eye.
What do you mean?
Oh, well, it just rubs it more into your eyeball and causes extreme pain.
Oh, great. So how do I fix this?
Well, it will either just get better naturally on its own, or you need urgent medical attention.
Well, how do I know if it's that bad?
Not sure. Maybe you should just go to the hospital anyway.
Well, that might be an issue as I'm flying to Australia in 10 minutes.
Do they have hospitals in Australia?
Yeah, I don't really want to get on the flight if my eye's going to fall out.
Oh, do they have a hospital at the airport?
No.
Well, not really sure what you can do, really.
Okay, well, thanks, Doris. Bye.
Oh, okay, goodbye, Español.
No, I wasn't about to bloody cancel our Australian tour because I sprayed deodorant in my eyes, so I shoved everything back in my bag and decided to go to a pharmacy in the airport, buy every eye product they had, and just use them all at the same time because fuck it, how could I make it any worse? I got eye drops, eye spray, soothing eye pads, a weird roll-on stick, which I'm pretty sure was probably just makeup, and just went to town. Phil had me lying horizontally across a bench like Frankenstein's monster as he just dropped things into my eye, and that is when we got the announcement that our flight was boarding. I was getting on that flight, so we marched towards the gate, and that is when one of you guys just happened to bump into us and ask for a selfie. Now, I was having a bad day, but I wasn't going to say no to this, so I volunteered to take the photo for everyone, and I just winked and looked at the camera. So if one of you has a photo with us at an airport where I'm just suspiciously winking with tears rolling down my face, feel free to tweet it. And we got on the plane. This is when miraculously, as if it probably would have been fine if I didn't rub it so much, my vision started to clear up and I no longer felt any pain. Phil obviously took all of the credit for his eye drop work, but I was just glad to have my sight back, so I collapsed in my plane seat, exhausted, emotional, and looking like a complete wreck. Just when you feel like you know how much of a disaster you are as a person, and how much you can actually flop in one day, something like this will happen and put you back in your place. Defeated and humiliated, I reached into my bag to get my headphones out, and that is when suddenly a sweet-smelling ray of hope appeared and reminded me that life was still worth living. My pistachio muffin! I reach for a box that looks like it's been hit by a truck with cream leaking out of the sides and pull out this fluffy pile of rubble and place it on the tray table in front of me. I had never seen an object that represented me as much as that muffin. The air hostess, coming along collecting the trash, asks if she wants to take that from me, and Phil leans over, aware that several people are looking at me right now as they enter the plane, and just says, "Come on, Dan. You don't really want that, do you?" This was so much more than a snack at this point. It was my pride. So with a single tear falling from my left eye, crumbs cascading down my body like an avalanche of shame, and my dignity in shreds, I ate the fucking muffin, and I savoured every goddamn bite. And that is the story of how I nearly blinded myself. The end. So there we go. I'm sure there's probably some metaphor here somewhere about determination and spirit, or maybe you should just not leave packing your suitcase until the day you're supposed to go to the airport. Yeah, you can click here to subscribe to my channel to see more videos that might make you feel like you've got your shit together compared to me, and you can watch the very video that made me late over there, which might explain a lot, to be honest. And I'll see you next time. Bye.